Hello there! Last week, while tidying up my wardrobe, I unearthed an old container filled with high school examinations. I reviewed those scrawled notations, such as needing an A in mathematics to avoid parental fury. Reflecting on those times, the strain was immense. I truly believe that without academic excellence or admission to a prestigious academy, my existence would be ruined. Now that I have reached 28, looking back, those things I feared as a student were not as terrifying as I imagined. If you are under 25, currently studying and feeling overwhelmed by grades or family expectations, please listen to my narrative. Perhaps you will feel more at ease, just as I do now. Are you prepared? Let us begin. During 9th grade, I was obsessed with my marks. My parents were traditional, constantly warning that without superior grades, I would end up as a miserable laborer. Every time they returned from parent meetings, my mother would pull out the class rankings to compare me, asking why I had a lower score than some other child. Hearing that made me want to vanish. Consequently, I studied day and night, staying up until 11 with stinging eyes. My mother even brewed coffee to keep me alert. I attended extra classes for math and English, leaving me without a single day of rest on weekends. My aspiration then was to enter a magnet school and then a top-tier university to make my parents proud and silence those calling me incompetent. However, I failed the entrance exam for the magnet school and only got into a regular one. My parents did not scold me, but I sensed my mother sighing in disappointment. I locked myself in my room thinking I was utterly useless and incapable of anything. Following that failure, I became disinterested. I had to continue my studies, but the passion was gone. Returning home, I would sprawl on my bed, scrolling through social media for hours. Funny videos and dance clips distracted me from the questions my parents asked about my future. Once, I received a failing grade in chemistry, and when the teacher called me to the board, I stood motionless, unable to solve the problem. The class laughed, and I wanted to flee immediately. At home, when my mother asked how school went, I lied, claiming it was fine, while internally criticizing myself severely. The breaking point came at the end of 11th grade during a heated argument with my father. He claimed that if I did not study properly, I should not expect any pocket money. Furious, I shouted that I did not need it and locked myself in my room. I felt my life was over, lacking good grades, friends, or parental understanding. I wept in silence, telling no one. Subsequently, I pondered deeply and realized the pressure came from both my parents and myself. I had confined myself to the belief that I must excel, but the harder I tried, the more I felt like a failure. In 12th grade, I began to change. I continued studying, but stopped the frantic grinding. I asked my mother to cancel an extra course so I could join the school art club. I had enjoyed drawing since childhood, but always thought it was not a viable career. Yet, holding the brush brought me genuine happiness, like rediscovering something forgotten. For university, I entered a standard school, not a top-ranked one. My parents were initially disappointed, but I stated clearly that I would study what I loved and sustain myself. At 28, after many experiences, I work as a freelancer. I'm not wealthy, but I am satisfied and enjoy my career. When I encounter young students, I often share that grades should not define them. Looking back, I thought success had to come by 18, but that period is actually for experimenting, failing, and understanding oneself. You do not need to be the top student. Finding something you are passionate about is sufficient. I still draw, not for money, but to relax. I learned that not everyone must enter elite schools to become engineers or doctors. Perhaps you prefer selling bubble tea, doing nails, or creating social media content. As long as it is the path you desire, pursue it. To those who once called me a failure, I say thank you because you taught me that I do not need to prove anything to anyone. If you are feeling pressured, remember that grades and parental remarks do not dictate your destiny. You are the one who decides. Finally, do not fear developing slowly. Youth is for living and exploring. Gradually, you will find your own way. What do you think of this story? If you recognize yourself in it, I hope you can shed the pressure and live as your authentic self. If you like this, please hit like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel for more valuable content. See you in the next video.